Hi everyone, my name is Sherelle Baird and today I'm going to talk about business etiquette within the cubicle workspace. So pretty much the topic is cubicle etiquette. We basically want to be respectful and mindful of others when working in a cubicle because it's really only three walls. You have one on the right, one on the left, and one in front of you. So our top is open and our behind is open. So basically, we can hear lots of things going on the side of us, next to us, all around us. So we want to make sure that we're respecting one another's space. Um, I have definitely checked with a lot of my employers, past employees, on the cubicle etiquette and got some insight from them based on experience of the things that they encountered with working in cubicles and working with others. Also got some information from businessmanagementdaily.com and also from my textbook, which is Business Communication, which is a textbook at Lakeland Community College. I'm going to inform you today just some basic rules on sharing a close space with employees and being respectful of the next person in the cubicle to the right or to the left of you. There are many ways that we can be mindful of those things, and those five rules are going to start with the first rule: don't prairie dog. The second rule is grant your neighbors that private time. The third rule is don't chime into others' conversations. The fourth rule is to take it down a notch. The fifth rule is don't eat smelly foods at your desk or even eat at all or spray any perfumes or cologne, just to respect one another. And starting with our main point with our first rule, don't prairie dog, what that simply means is we don't want to go over to each other's cubicles, either to the left or the right of you, and pop your head up and say, hey, what are you doing? They might be on the phone, they might be doing something private, they may not want you in their space. So even though we don't have doors, walls, and windows, we still want to be able to create that space. So you don't want to walk around and go in someone else's cubicle without their permission. The second rule is to grant your neighbors private time. And with that being said, you do not want to walk around on your break, and I quote, your break, and bother others while they may be on the phone or they may be on work time. You also don't want to go to the next person's cubicle and borrow a pen, borrow a piece of paper, borrow scissors, borrow tape. You want to act first, and you want to make sure that you're not interrupting that person while they're on the phone, while they may be meditating, whatever they might be doing in their own private time is their time. So we want to make sure that we're mindful of keeping that time and space with one another. The third rule is don't chime into others' conversation. There are going to be times where someone's going to be on a rough call. Things may be going on, and we want to do the prairie dog. We want to pop up in the cubicle and say, hey, Jessica, hey, Jane Doe, what's going on? What's the matter? Can I help you with that? It's okay to be helpful, but we don't want to bring it to attention. We don't want to bring that attention and say we're not respecting one another because that phone call, that moment could be private. And if they're having a conversation with a coworker and they might not want you to chime into their conversation, it's rude. So we want to respect one another, pretty much mind your own business and stay in your own cubicle unless otherwise noted or invited. Number four, we want to take it down a notch. That is when you are either on a call or you may be talking to your neighbor. We have to remember, again, there's only three walls: to the left of you, to the right of you, to the front of you. So you want to keep your voice at a minimum level so that everyone will be able to talk at the same time, because there's millions and thousands of people talking at the same time and there's tones of different sorts. So we want to be able to keep the volume at a mellow volume, so when we're talking to a customer, we can hear the customer can hear us. If we're talking to a neighbor, we want to keep certain things in that cubicle space. The fifth rule, last but not least, which is my absolute pet peeve, is don't eat smelly food at the desk or spray cologne or perfume or put on, smelly lotions. This can sometimes cause people to feel sick. They can want to vomit. They can't focus. And when you're, eating something that's a strong food or someone might be allergic to it, they can have a reaction to that. So we want to be mindful of those things and respect each other's space. I pulled up this really funny video that's on YouTube, and it's going to kind of, if you've never seen a cubicle before, some people haven't, we want to kind of give you an insight on what it looks like. And he's doing a pretty funny thing that you don't want someone to do in your cubicle. So this is like basically a don't. So I'm going to go ahead and start the video for you in just a moment.
Bro. Bro. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you serious? Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it right now, you imbecile. Stop it.
So, as you can see on the video there was not proper cubicle etiquette being used there. He basically entered the cubicle without his permission. He was touching his items, he was spinning in his chair, and as you can see, there was just not enough space. It's really not even enough space for two people, let alone a whole bunch of people coming in and doing certain things in your cubicle space. So to kind of piggyback on what we talked about, remember to always follow the 5 rules of cubicle etiquette. And the first one is not to prairie dog. The second one is grant your neighbors that private time. The third one is not to chime into others' conversations. The fourth one is to take it down a notch. And the fifth one is to not eat smelly foods or put on cologne, perfume, or any kind of smelly lotion. I absolutely loved the cubicle business etiquette because most of the time with me working in business, I've always worked in cubicles. And it doesn't really matter how much you put these rules out there, it still doesn't feel like your private space because it's so open. But if we can teach one another and kind of go by these rules, it would kind of help us in the near future with working in business. I do hope that everyone found this video to be helpful and mindful. And again, let's not forget about the rules of proper cubicle etiquette. And we want to make sure that we inform each other in the workplace about this so that our experience can be very pleasant and everyone can be happy and that everyone can basically have a space of their own. And, with that being said, always remember the 5 rules of business etiquette. Thanks. I'm Sherelle. If you have any questions, leave some messages at the bottom of the page. Thanks. Bye.